All right, so this is a continuation of the STAR 2022 release test. Make sure you have your math notebook, calculator, and you are working the problems out. So it says a teacher bought sets of book at a cost of $17.95 per set. The teacher also paid a one-time shipping fee of $22. Which table shows the relationship between the total cost of books and the number of sets of books the teacher bought? Okay, so one thing that you need to think of here in this table, or the tables, this is the number of sets of books. Now this total cost is $17.95 plus the $22 shipping fee. So you can do this by just checking each table, but you'd have to subtract out the $22 to see if that would work. Kind of just working backwards here. So if you have 369.95, subtract the $22 out. So what this table is saying is $347.95 for 16 sets of books. So you would need to divide that by 16 to see if it comes out to $17.95 per set. So go ahead and do that in the calculator. You're just kind of, it's like a guess and check. I mean, there's other ways to do this. You can set up an equation. So that actually comes out to 21.74. So now think about that. So that's too high. So it's definitely not going to work. But look at the number here. This is even higher. So is this one. Let's check this one next. So we're going to do the 309.20 minus the $22 to see what we get. Minus 22 comes out to 287.20. Now divide that by the 16 to see if we get the 17.95%. Yes, that comes out to exactly 17.95. So the answer is J. Next one, so two customers spent the same amount of money at a restaurant. So they're equal amounts. The first customer bought 8 hot wings and left a $4 tip. The second customer bought 10 hot wings and left a $2.80 tip. Both customers paid the same amount per hot wing. How much does the one hot wing cost at this restaurant in dollars and cents? All right, so you have to, we don't know how many, the cost per hot wing. So that we can use C or whatever variable, but we'll say C is the cost per each hot wing. So 8 times C plus the first customer left a $4 tip. The second customer got 10 hot wings and left a $2.80 tip. So it says that they spent the same amount of money. So you set up an equation where those two are equal. And we have to get the variables on the same side. So we're going to subtract 8C from both sides. And you get 4 is equal to 10 minus 8C is 2C plus 280. Then you're going to subtract, because we have to isolate the variable, you're going to subtract 280 from both sides. And then we're left with 2C is equal to, should be $1.20. And the last step, divide by 2. And the cost per hot wing is 60 cents. So be careful when, now It's probably not this type of bubbling. This is the old paper pencil one, but you'll have to put it into, um, write or type it into the correct place. So this is a 0 here, this is 6, and this is 0. Just make sure you put everything in the right spot when doing this type of problem. All right, the next one, the scatter plot shows the relationship between the number of games at a baseball team won in a season and the number of hours the team practiced each week. So as the number of hours increases, the number of games increases. Based on the scatter plot, which is the best prediction of the number of games a baseball team won if the team practiced for 3 hours? You will have that line tool, so you can draw in the line of best fit. Kind of look at that. It says for 3 hours, so go to the 3-hour mark, and it's somewhere between 12 and 16, but it's definitely not. 15 would be, so you look at your answer choices, it's more than 10, it's less than 20, because here's, 20 is way up here. 15 would be closer to the 16 mark, so that's not a good answer. And so 13 is definitely the best answer there. Next one, which measurement could represent the side lengths in feet of a right triangle? All right, so you're going to have to do a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. So for a, you have 10 squared, and the biggest number is always the c. That's the longest side. All right, so let's see if this one comes out. If they're equal, then it is a right triangle. So that's 100. I'm going to begin to guess what that is. So just do 25 squared, 576. And then do 26 squared. Voila, we got our answer. 676. So when you add those two together, it is 676. They are equal. So it just happens to be the first one. Now, if it wasn't, you would continue. Actually, look at B. I mean, they're all the same, so they cannot be all the same. And then you'd have to continue working to see which one was the answer if A wasn't. All right, next one. So we have a table that shows the coordinates of the vertices of a pentagon. So this is just like if you had it as ordered pairs, it'd be -1, 1. So they're just listed in a table. Pentagon ABCD is dilated by a scale factor of 7/3, with the origin as the center of dilation to create the new pentagon. If XY represents the location of any point on the pentagon, which ordered pair represents the location of the corresponding point on the pentagon? Okay, so dilations, it's always multiplied. So it would look like this. But it's multiplied by the scale factor. So this is the only transformation that would change the size of the figure. So it is scale factor 7/3. This one is not correct because it has 3/7. This is being added. That would be like a translation where it moves. This is the correct one. All right, here the next one. The dimensions of a cylinder are shown in the diagram. Which measurement is closest to the lateral surface area in square centimeters? All right, so surface area of a cylinder for lateral, you have the 2 pi r times the height. This is on your formula chart, so you don't have to memorize that. It doesn't say to use 3.14 for pi, but since it's multiple choice, that it would be okay to use the 3.14. Now, one thing do need to change here. We need the radius. This is the diameter. So radius is half of that. So find what half of 5.8 is. Should be, just divide that by 2, should be 2.9. So we're going to do 2.9 for our radius. And then the height is 7.6. All right, and then multiply all those together in your calculator. 2 times 3.14 times, oops, hold on, 2.9 times 7.6, 138.41. So obviously they used pi. So you can see that this is the correct answer. All right, we have two lines graphed on the coordinate grid represent a system of equations. What is the x-coordinate of the ordered pair that best represents the solution? Solution is right there where it crosses. It does cross at 0, 0. So this would be G. All right, the quadrilateral PQRS is dilated with the origin as the center to create the new quadrilateral. So the new one's smaller. The coordinates of each vertex are integers. Which statement is true? Okay, so we do need to find out. Okay, so let's just look. So each side length of quadrilateral PQRS is half the corresponding length. So this is the original one. It's actually larger. So they're saying a half would make it smaller. So that's not true. Quadrilateral, the new one is congruent. No, it changed sides, or size, because it's the dilation. Each angle measure of a quadrilateral, each angle measure of the PQRS is half. The angles are the same size. It does not change angle size. All right, and then the last one, they're similar. They are similar. Similar figures aren't always, they're not the same size, they're the same shape. Okay, they're similar. So that's the correct answer. All right, so company is drilling, this will be our last one. Hopefully we get this one in. The company is drilling a water well. The graph models the linear relationship between the depth of the well and the time spent drilling. Which function can best represent the relationship between y and x? Okay, so first notice that it is at 0. So it's going to be something x. There's not going to be a plus or minus. Slope and x. So you can eliminate C and D, because if it was those, then the y-intercept would be at 30 for D, so that's where it would start. Starts at a 0. So it's either A or B. Now if we look for 1 hour, it's less than 10. So that's your slope. And if you look at, if there's a point on here that crosses, it's hard to tell, maybe 5 and 30 right here. So that y over x, and that ordered pair there is 5, 30. And remember, this is x, this is y. So 30 over 5, which is 6, and that is your slope. So it's this one. All right, I know I skipped this one. If you want to, if you need me to go through that, just send me an email. That is the mean absolute deviation. They had a question like this last year. Usually they don't, so just wanted to let you know that. All right, let me know if you have any questions.